Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Going back to the Mania Squid Game round 3. I hope you all are ready for some tug of war action as we get the first of 6 matches well underway. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in the commentary booth by none other than Dynascape. Dyna, how you doing?
I'm doing great tonight, Sparky, and I can't wait to see what it's like when the momentum in Squid Game shifts and we have a large number of contestants drop out. Today we've got the Gigglers versus Galactix Riotz, and this should be a pretty fun matchup.
Oh, for sure. This is going to be a true test of how good can you put together a hodgepodge lineup of players that may or may not have skill sets that line up with which exactly you need, but sometimes you got to fit that round peg into a square hole to try and make things work sometimes. So on the side of the Gigglers, we have Beta Carotene Cal, Dark Ekisser, and Tristan Jacob 11. And on the side of Galactix, right, we have Legendi was taken, Mickey GG, Galactic Calamity, and me 0117. So as you were mentioning, we're going to lose a lot of players this round. We're going from 48 all the way down to 24. The losing team in these matchups, all 4 players are going to be eliminated from the tournament. So don't be the weakest link. It's going to be a 3v3. Hopefully we have enough players. I believe we have enough players to get started, and we'll see how we do.
Yeah, and I like how you said a hodgepodge of people. I love to see everyone scrambling in the channel where you formed a team, just looking for people, trying to get the best players that you can as a captain. And I honestly think that Beta Carotene has formed a very strong team that is well-rounded. A lot of familiar names from NAMT, just very high ranks overall, whereas Legendi was taken. Still a pretty good team, I would say probably in the lower half in terms of physicality or maybe overall ranking. However, they can still pull off a comeback.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the good thing is that in this specific game, we break away from the traditional best of 7 format that a lot of people are going to be very used to. And I think that's going to be the hot topic for this round. It is not best of 7, so to speak. It is first team to win 4 points in a row will be the winner. And if we reach a situation where a streak of 4 points cannot be obtained, we go straight into that tiebreaker, which is Epicynthia and Drive. So it's gonna be interesting seeing throughout the weekend. You don't necessarily need to be good enough to take 4 points. You really just kind of got to be good enough to take 1.
Oh, definitely. Especially like if you're just playing for TV, hoping that, you know, maybe you can't garner 4 points in a row. You don't have such a balanced team. Best thing you can do is play for TV. However, honestly, I don't think we'll see it here. I think that the momentum is going to be for one of these teams, and really momentum is needed to send them out of this tournament. So we've got the Gigglers up to either protect first or ban first.
Yeah, it looks like they want to just do something first. It's always nice when they don't really specify, but it looks like they're deliberating as to what they want to do. And I mean, there's some pretty interesting maps in this map pool overall. Of course, I think the Rice is going to be the more comfortable thing for a lot of these teams. A lot of these mixed rosters tend to have players that kind of just default towards the Rice. The LN and hybrid kind of becomes a bit of a second consideration. But if you do have a team that can pull off some of these LN points, that's going to be a really good way of stopping some of the momentum.
And I really do think that the jump in this map pool is quite devastating. I mean, we've got so many MWC picks, a lot of them featured from 2020 in the finals and grand finals pools. Mainly the 8 hybrids and LN, so I can see what you mean with the Rice picks, but even still, all of them are just so challenging.
Yeah, for sure, and it looks like the Gigglers might have decided to protect first here just without really saying much. And right now we're just trying to make sure everything is going.
Yeah, Kamisori protect is... It actually does make sense because if you look at the Gigglers as a team, they do have Cow, which is someone who is very known for their adeptness at Jax. And at 135 Jax, Kamisori is kind of the perfect pick. A lot of very hard-hitting Rice players on that team as well. Beta Carotene and Tristan Jacob, I would say, would probably be up for them if they were to play that map.
Yeah, for sure. Unsurprising that that's probably on the radar. And I mean, they already threw it out here as what they want to protect. No real harm done in throwing that out first.
And I wonder...
Go ahead.
I wonder if Galactix Riotz is gonna opt for LN/HB in response.
I would imagine if you want to kind of like stray away from the Rice picks, maybe something like Destroy Hybrid 3 would be kind of like that outside pocket pick for a lot of these teams, just because of the fact that it is an offshoot, like a cut version of the rank chart. Is just on a 1.2x rate, so it's like you trade off the familiarity for a bit of the speed, but you might be familiar enough with the patterning that you might be able to get away with it without having to like delve too deep into the right end of the pool.
Yeah, I would love that pick so much for a lot of teams to kind of break any sort of momentum going, because Destroy the Happy End has so many places where you can get an unsuspecting break in your combo and possibly lose the map for your team. So if you're not practiced on it, maybe some of these lesser seeded teams will go for it in order to try to break the streak that you have going on.
Yeah, for sure. So right now, just getting everything settled in here. Want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. We know we went from a whole bunch of 1v1s and like really mishmash kind of games to our real first team setting. Want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, and I think everybody's playing along very nicely here so far.
Yeah, we did get the Kamisori protect.
So now, yeah, we're waiting for, Galactix Riotz for their protect. It looks like Kamisori is going to be protected on the side of the Gigglers, so got that out of the way. Let's see what the response is going to be. They're going to be able to ban right afterwards as well, so we get some insight. And it's going to be a little goodbye to Raw getting protected here. So double Rice protect, would not be surprised if we saw a double LN ban now, just based on the tendencies of a lot of teams and players.
Yeah, Goodbye Raw is very interesting, very physical. So I wonder if the Gigglers are up to the task at facing them at that, because again, I would really describe them as a pretty Rice physical team. So interesting protect coming out of Galactix Riot's side. And now we are gonna go ahead into the Gigglers ban. They are gonna ban... Oh, they thought about Rice 3.
Wait,
But
that okay.
that's your
Also,
protect.
protect. That is the power play. You protect it so you can ban it. No, it's gonna
Craziest
be
play.
LN3. So Turkey gonna get knocked out of this pool.
Alright, so it seems like the Gigglers not wanting to play LN. Maybe Galactix Riotz might take that as a sign and try to go for a ban somewhere else other than LN.
Remains to be seen, but yeah, Galactix Riot's gonna be doing this final ban. I could see Dance Number getting removed, but that's kind of one that you want to keep in if you want to kind of try and break the streak. You want to have some LN picks open, but no, it's gonna be Rogue Myth getting removed here. So Protective Rice, Banner Rice, maybe just limiting some of the options for the Gigglers to go into.
Yeah, and maybe even adapting as the pick, ban, and protect phase go on. Galactix Riotz sensing that Gigglers do want to go for Rice, don't want to go for LN, so immediately cutting down that Rice option for the Gigglers. Maybe Galactix Riotz are going to end up going for some of these Rice-leaning hybrids in this match.
Yeah, it remains to be seen, and we get into the first pick here. Maybe it's going to be very interesting to see what that first pick is going to be. We did see the Rice to protect for Galactix, right? Maybe just want to dive into that to test the waters, how good the Gigglers are on this, but maybe you want to stray into that bottom half of that pool. Like we were mentioning, those hybrid picks were untouched. Could be a good middle ground.
Yeah, nice appetizer for the rest of the set to come. But Legendi taking their time, gonna have to talk amongst their team and gonna have to see what they want to pick, because this first map is very important. You do not want to start to give the momentum over to the Gigglers.
Yeah, another thing to keep in mind is the fact that this is a full team lineup, and it's going to be Emeralda, so opting to go into the hybrids here to test the waters a little bit, and we're going to see the first iterations of both these teams start to come to fruition here. Who's really going to step up to the plate?
I do know that Galactix Riotz does have some decent LN players. I believe Legendi and Mickey for sure are going to be in here. Seems like Galactic Calamity is going to take up that third spot. And on the side of the Gigglers, seems like if we don't have any change outs, Beta Carotene, the captain, is going to come in for Cow. And then Tristan Jacob, of course, and Dark Chaser going to be the third player for the Gigglers. Pretty solid lineups, pretty much what I would expect from both teams. And we're gonna have to see how this goes.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry decision making here. Unsurprising for the Gigglers. Cow bowing out. Definitely one that prefers playing Rice picks way above anything related to hybrid and LN. So it's a good thing that they have a pretty complementary roster to kind of pick up the slack on the bottom half of the map pool. And really, I think the onus falls on Galactix Riotz to kind of take the Gigglers to task on this lower half of the map pool, because if they start giving away these breakpoints very early on, this could prove to be a very, very short match.
And I think it certainly helps that Beta Carotene was the captain for the Gigglers. I think that the networking involved before this week, it plays such a big role in forming your team. I mean, Beta Carotene, I feel like, just reached out to everyone that they knew from NAMT and played well in. There's so many good NA choices to play with, and just I don't know, I slammed it out of the park with that one. Jendi, a bit more limited, just because I feel like there were less Asian time zone players in this game in general, so maybe a bit hurt by that. However, not out of the water at all, not out of this race just yet.
Yeah, and I'm receiving word that, you know, we don't have warm-ups in this tournament. As you and I both know, warm-ups are 99% the cause of a lot of delays, but who'd have thunk that getting through rolls, protects, bans, and that first pick could take 30 minutes? The actual lobby has actually timed out. So, yeah, we'll get that lobby remade for y'all. We'll get into Emeraldas here very soon. And
Definitely a first for everything. I can't remember the last time an MP lobby has closed pre-match. I don't think even in 4DM it has happened.
yeah. With 4DM, there's a lot of very strict eyes looking at you. You don't really want to be the ones to take forever, because oh boy, they will come down on you very hard. But here, we don't have the, what do you call it? Maybe the heavy weaponry to really enforce too much in that regard. But thankfully, it's a very easy fix. It's just recreating the lobby, getting the players back in, getting them in the right slots, and hopefully it's going to take half an hour. We don't have to do the whole process over again. So we'll see how this goes.
I'd like to say that I'd probably say that we're more lenient than 4DM. To put it
Tiny
in a
bit.
yeah, to put it in a good way.
Oh, speaking to your point a little bit earlier about players using the connections that they have, the networking capabilities of basically being able to advertise their skill sets and being able to attract players that are maybe of a higher caliber or just willing to offer their services to try and get through this game. It was very interesting seeing the conversations in the Discord server taking place as soon as the captains were announced. I think there was even a point where people were trying to bribe their way into teams.
Oh yeah, I believe Min actually had to put out an announcement saying,
Do
please
not offer money to get on a team. That is, I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, if I wanted to be full chaotic for this tournament, honestly, I might have allowed it. If I were hosting it, I think that would be super funny. But
That
I mean,
would have been hilarious. I mean, to be fair, I don't think like half the player base is allowed to really legally have a PayPal account. So
yeah,
would have been very interesting to see people bust out their mom's credit card to try and get things going their way. And it looks like we are back into lobby number 2.
that's certainly an interesting thought. Just hey mom, I need to use your credit card. And it's like, what for, honey?
I'm trying to win Squid Game.
Yeah, I swear it'll pay back in dividends later on down the line once I win.
It's like I have the opportunity to win a lot of gumballs.
Yeah, because that's the only currency we really have here over at the BSM tournaments. We got the gumballs.
That is a very child-friendly currency, so
definitely
a lot less corrupting force.
But I do think everyone is back in the lobby. If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. Got the transition in, so surely.
Listen, Stingers on point.
Alright, only one person missing from Galactix Riotz. Last time it was Legendi was taken, the captain, so looks like we're gonna have to see.
Funny, because captains get invited first, so it's interesting to see them out of here. Maybe they're just in slot 7.
And I really do appreciate the casual talk and banter going on between the Gigglers and the Galactix Riotz. I mean, they are playing tug of war to the death, but they're just so nonchalant about it.
I mean, real fear doesn't really strike until you're down 3-0, and on the brink of elimination, so we'll see how it goes. Right now we still need Legendi back in slot 6. And it looks like Beta Carotene actually not playing Emeraldus, so might actually see Cal come in here for the Gigglers, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I would have expected Beta Carotene to be on this pick. I think they might be a bit better in LN generally, but maybe it's something about the hybrid transitions or something.
Maybe. So it looks like it will be the following lineup: Dark Ecuser, Cow, and Tristan Jacob. And Galactic Calamity, Mickey GG, and probably Legendi. They were in the IRC chat. Just need to get brought into the proper slot.
Soon after about 20 minutes of wait time, we can get into this 1.5 minute map.
This is peak Squid Games because you got to have that filler during the episode. You know, I never watched the series, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of filler in between where they have like conversations. Right now, they're just conversing amongst each other before they stab each other in the back.
Yeah, I think this would be likened to the build-up before the big game or something.
They're
to
just
that
trash
measure.
talking each other with the rope in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Except both teams, again, pretty nice to each other in general. No trash talk here, so far at least.
So far, yeah, it's all fun and games until you see one player with the one miss and you lose by like 5 points and just everything flies off the handle.
And in the worst case scenario, we might see some I hope we don't see any trash talks from like a captain to their own player. I think that would be that'd be like the worst feeling possible. Currently receiving news that they are in the right slots. It's just the stream client is somehow messed up. Something went wrong with this new MP. It's a curse. It's cursed.
There we go.
Never mind.
So we have professionals on staff that know how to do things on the fly, work wizardry. The command is MP kick. For anybody that's not supposed to be playing, I do believe we have a straggler in the lobby. Somebody is sus, and I think they've been eliminated.
And while we're at it, talking about the match staff, huge shout outs to our streamer Rhymes with Mash, one of the hosts of Squid Game, and our lovely referee for putting up with the tomfoolery a case 100.
Yeah. So if anything goes wrong, just blame Mash. Just Mash.
Yeah, always down to blame Mash when something goes wrong. However, this time, not his fault.
True, but we will still blame them anyways.
Lots of good looks coming out, and we do finally see that beloved MP start kicking in. So we are finally gonna get into the first map of the third game, Tug of War for Squid Games.
Alrighty, so Emeraldus, the funny chaos control difficulty, last featured in Soft 5 on a bit of a slower rate than the one that's here, and Mickey GG finding the first drop traded immediately by Cal. So we have a couple of drops here across the board to get this map underway. A very short one also, only 1:30, and we start to see the misses all across the board from Galactix Rise. Nobody with any semblance of a combo right now as Tristan Jacob and Dark Ecuser. Tristan Jacob now to fall. Only one FC left on the board across the entire lobby going into the back of the map, and it's Dark Ecuser here.
98 across the board as well for Galactix Riotz. However, Tristan Jacob and Dark Geyser both above that 99. I believe Dark Geyser with the only FC in the lobby. That's providing such a huge bonus for the Gigglers right now, and definitely adding into their lead. There's only a third of the map left, and as we get into these nasty jacks, Darkchizer finally missing. I believe those were 211 BPM.
Yeah, and as we make our way into the last quarter of the chart, everybody seems to have regained some semblance of control. I think Galactic Calamity, the only one really finding a little bit of a struggle here, not above that 400 combo cap. As we see the double miss here, triple miss as well. Cal trading that miss back on the side of the Gigglers here, but they have been firmly in control from the offset off the back of this performance from Tristan Jacob and Dark Ekister. Despite them losing their FCs relatively early on in the chart, it looks like they are going to be able to hang on for this first breakpoint to make it 1-0.
2.85 million to 2.76, about 100,000 difference split between the three. That's about a 30k difference per player, and you can see it here. Tristan Jacob, I think, had one slider break very early on in the map, however managed to pull off a clean FC for the rest of it and top scored by a large amount, 975. The next one, Legendi, was taken with 957, pretty close to Darkchizer, matched there. Unfortunately, Mickey, GG, and Galactic Calamity could not catch up, especially with the jacks at that speed. And the Gigglers are actually going to take this first break point.
Yeah, and now I think would be the perfect time to kind of implement that protect here, really start to build up some momentum here. Probably going to see Kamasori come out to try and capitalize on this break point. You got it with a roster that I don't think we were expecting to go into a pick like that, but it looks like it's going to be... Actually, no, I was about to say it's going to be LN2, but I mean LN1, but that might be a bit of a misclick, a little bit of an oopsie-doopsie, as the kids like to say.
All right, that one we can blame MASH for. The Gigglers not going to go ahead and pick dance number.
Yeah, I don't think the Gigglers have any intention of picking an LN chart willingly in this match.
Definitely gonna be up in the right section. It's just which one do you want to go for?
Oh, I see Beta Carotene checking in. Unsurprising. You want to have the captain make all the decisions if you can, and they're just double checking with our referee that it is their pick. So kind of a pick of the litter type of moment for the Rice picks. You imagine, ooh, and it's going to be Eyu no Uta coming out here. So Rice 1 going to be the pick here instead of what I was saying, potentially Rice 3. Maybe saving that for a potential 4th point if it does come to that.
Eyu no Uta certainly is a great pick for the Gigglers. It is, I would say, very long compared to a lot of the Rice maps. So not only are they trying to win this point, they are trying to drain these players of their stamina for the rest of the set. This map is 3.5 minutes long, and as you know, if you have played this map, it is super dumpy, super streamy, a large variance on the density of them as well. Even a long jack and a fake out ending, it really does have it all.
Yeah, but on the flip side, with it being as difficult as it is, it seems to me that players tend to have like a gravitational pull towards these really awkward, high difficulty, stamina draining charts, and they become really proficient at stuff like this. So would not be surprised if we saw, at least on the offset, a bit of a tug of war, pardon the pun, going on between these two teams. It's really just going to come down to which team has the players that blink first. Once the MP Star Command comes out, we're going to get into the second map. It is going to be the Gigglers' first pick, Eyu no Uta, coming out here.
And the only switch out is going to be Beta Carotene in for Cow. Galactix Riotz not opting to use Me0017 just yet. Might be seen in a later map, but for now, the same lineup for them.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a similar situation to last round when we had a Valedict map in here. They seem to have a very good way of making you kind of work for the accuracy and keeping the combo here, making you give me the first one to find the drop here, but relatively clean overall. It just dropped them down to that low 99%, but it's going to give the Gigglers a chance to build up a little bit of a cushion through this first quarter of the chart.
Yeah, and I believe these streams gonna be at around 280 BPM. Galactix, Calamity finding 2 misses and taking a large hit to their accuracy as well, all the way down to 98.5, whereas everyone on the Gigglers is above a 99.6. So you see that red bar creeping in towards Tristan Jacobs' name, and we are already about a third into the map. And final little vocal section before we get into that little halftime break.
Yeah, and during that, I didn't even realize Mickey GG also finding or doing a pretty good job of recovering here. Legendi going to be the next one to fall. So all 3 FCs now down on the side of Galactix Riotz. Meanwhile, the Gigglers, I was about to say very good overall, but Beta Carotene finding the drop on the transition into the back half of the chart, getting the first one to fall for them. But the damage already being done here. A pretty sizable lead from the side of the Gigglers right now as Mickey GG falls on that anchored jack.
Yeah, and Beta Carotene's miss was clean as a whistle. I don't think really that much damage was done towards them. Still holding a 99.64, second on their team as well as in the lobby in general, whereas again Galactix Riotz has 2 players under that 99 count. Legendi was taken, is doing their best to try to support the 2 of them, but is just not enough in this team game.
Yeah, last sort of the chart left to go. Everybody making it through relatively cleanly through that speed section, transitioning into the tiny little bit of unintrusive LN, and then going right back into it. Legendi falls in the transition into this 1/8 speed section into the last quarter of the chart. Still the highest accuracy on the side of Galactix Riotz, but definitely a bit of a mountain to climb at this point. Dare I say near insurmountable. We need to take a massive collapse here from the side of the Gigglers, but right now both Tristan Jacob and Dark Ekisser holding on to very outstanding FCs, both of them in that 99.6 range. Beta Carotene also doing their bulk of the heavy lifting, second in accuracy in this lobby, despite having that singular miss to their name.
Yeah, and I think that these streams just ate away at the players of the Galactix Riotz. Again, it really does go in and out of densities. There is a lot of jumps. It is not just single streams, and you do have to really take care with that. But we are going to get into the fake out ending. Let's see if anyone misses. No.
Okay, so everybody making it through that funny quad jack at the very end, and very balanced team scores all across the board, at least for the respective teams. The Gigglers, everybody inside that 980k mark, and for Galactix Riotz, everybody within touching distance of each other. But it will be the Gigglers taking a 2-0 advantage and really starting to pull the rope closer to their side.
And for the players of the Galactix Riotz, their scores aren't bad at all, especially when you take into account how far we are into this tournament. It's just when you look at the great counts of the Gigglers, 20 total, that's less than their best performing player of Legendi was taken. Really does show the difference when it comes to Rice accuracy, Rice physicality. The Gigglers really making their mark and saying, we do not want you guys in the Rice pool.
Yeah, now a difficult decision for Galactix Riotz. They're going to need to take a point here or in the next pick, lest this match be over. But honestly, what kind of picks do they have to go into? I mean, the LNs are on the table. You do have Dance Number and Flames of the Rebellion left, but it's an interesting situation to be in.
Kind of caught out for Galactix Riotz because remember they protected Rice too. Goodbye Raw. Do they really want to go for it now after getting absolutely gapped on AU no Uta? Because this could potentially be their last pick before their tournament run ends.
Oh, and they're gonna go Kamasori here. So going for the Gigglers protect, and Oh boy, this is a very bold strategy, Dinah.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it in other tournaments. I think this is the first time I said it for this one. Such a power move to pick your opponent's protect. And when you're at 0-2 down and possibly on your last pick, this is definitely a pick of all time. We're going to have to see how it turns out. Kamisori has so many unorthodox jacks. I think they have some sort of game plan where they want the Gigglers to take some unnecessary breaks where they don't want to.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, to be fair, I feel like core jacks are like the quintessential, like, if you are a Rice player, you are able to play core jacks. And 135 BPM in this day and age is a very, very comfortable BPM for a lot of players. So Galactix Riot is going to be hoping for a couple of slip-ups here from the side of the Gigglers. It's just the fact that the Gigglers have some really, really good core jack specialists on their team. So this is going to be a bit of a dice roll, but fortune favors the bold here. At least Galactix Riots aren't going to like lay down and just take what the Gigglers are giving them. And we see the first appearance of B0117, potentially a bit of a wild card in this equation.
Yeah, we haven't seen them yet. They are going to be put up to a great task of trying to FC it. I do believe that Legendi was taken, wouldn't have chose this if all three of these players weren't at least some amount of comfortable on this map. So it's a possibly good choice. However, when you see the other players on the other team, Cow, Beta Carotene, and Tristan Jacob, it is extremely scary.
Another thing to keep in mind, this chart not very long in the grand scheme of this map pool, only about 2.5 minutes, so misses are going to be at a premium to keep as close to zero as humanly possible, because this could very well quickly turn into a bit of a runaway one way or the other, depending on, once again, who blinks first. So we have Cal, Beta Carotene, and Tristan Jacob 11 for the Gigglers. Galactic Calamity Legendi was taken at Me0117 for Galactix Riot, who are currently trying to break the streak for the Gigglers.
Starting off, it does seem like everyone is pretty comfortable, but again, the whole point of this map is that the patterns are uncomfortable. So we're gonna have to see how they do when those little flams and breaks in the monotony of the jacks come in. And as these long jacks come out, everyone doing just fine. Probably the biggest hit for all these players is Galactic Calamity with a 98 FC. And so, I mean, there's a lead there for the Gigglers, but a couple of misses might bridge that gap.
Yeah, right now this lead is almost entirely just based off the accuracy alone. You have Beta Carotene, really outstanding performance from them so far. High 99.8, Cow not too far behind, 99.7 for them, and Tristan Jacob as well. Also, I misread their accuracy. It's 99.86. Had a bit of a rough start as we start to see the first misses start to come out from the side of Galactic Rise, Galactic Calamity, and Me0117. Legendi falls as well. All three FCs wiped off the face of the earth very quickly inside the span of just a couple of seconds as we make our way into the back half of the chart now.
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate. Once the density started to kick in right before that break section, a lot more triples showing up. Unfortunately, all three players not able to keep combo on Galactix Riotz, and the only one for the Gigglers is Beta Carotene, but still, again, a very clean miss from them, still holding a 99.75, better than anyone else in Galactix Riotz, and so it seems like this might be yet another runaway map for Team Red.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because very early on we were seeing that back and forth start to take place as the players started to settle in with their overall accuracies. We do see a couple more misses coming out here. Galactic Calamity, Me0117, and Beta Carotene all finding misses towards the end of the chart, but Cal and Tristan Jacob off the back of that double FC for the Gigglers make it 3-0 and push Galactix Riots to the brink of elimination. A V1 double S coming out from Tristan Jacob.
Absolutely scary score, 995 from them. I mean, just looking at everyone's scores on the side of the Gigglers, that I don't think a lot of teams would be able to beat what the Gigglers have done just here. So I don't blame Galactix Riots at all. Honestly, they did very, very well in general. 974 from Legendi is such an amazing score. It's just not enough. Again, this is a team game, and unfortunately, Galactic Calamity having that 98.72, 937, just a bit under the mark of what is expected to try to keep themselves in the game here. So now they are teetering on that edge, and they do not have the cushion of having that last pick.
I mean, the one good thing is that as opposed to a traditional best of 7, this would be technically considered match point. But all Galactix Riots needs is for one pick to go their way, and it just resets the entire counter, and we go again from zeros here. So can't get 2 down. All you need is that 1 point.
And Beta Carotene turning to a higher power, asking the Magic 8 Ball what their last pick or potential last pick might be. It said no. I don't think that's a map.
No, I think they were referring to the fact that Legendi was like, can we get at least 1 win?
Oh, there we go.
It is a higher power. There's no higher power than a ball full of water and a little plastic die.
Yeah, it's just RNGing it, and unfortunately, it seems like Beta Carotene is out on a mission to stop Galactix Riots, not allowing them a single point, and they are going to go out with Rice 5 Toki.
Yeah, before that pick came out, I was thinking in my head which of these picks for the Gigglers, which of these Rice maps would be the best one to go into, and I think Toki is actually the best of the 3, just based on the fact that with something like Little Girl Goodbye Raw, the fact that it's a love chart, it's very familiar to a lot of players. There might be a lot of practice on the side of Galactix Riots. That it is their protect. And with something like Crystal Chamber Combustion, it is a very awkward technical map to try and make your way through. So this one may be the lesser of all evils with regards to the Rice picks. And of course, the Gigglers were not going to go into Hybrid LN willingly.
It's actually funny that you say that it might be the lesser of all evils in the Rice pick, because usually when I make these notes for the entirety of the map, well, I'll have like pretty detailed stuff for the map. For Toki, I just have Zooey Mama. Like there's nothing else to describe this map. It's extremely hard, and honestly, I can't wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, it's a very difficult technical chart to try and get through, but this is one of those where you can kind of like flex your physical muscles over your opponents, and could be a good way to put a little cherry on top of what has been a very admirable performance, a very good performance from the side of the Gigglers. But all it takes is one person having a bad run to really swing the momentum the other way.
And again, the Gigglers flexing their Rice strengths. Cal, Beta Carotene, and Tristan Jacob coming out for them, not opting to use Dark Chaser, even though I believe they played Avino Utah. Just a very solid team when it comes to Rice. I think they hit all the spots and all the different skill sets in the Rice pool, and that was very good of Beta Carotene to pick this team. For Galactix Riots, on the other hand, Galactic Calamity, Legendi was taken, and Mickey GG are going to be the ones to stave off the Gigglers from pushing them off of this perilous bridge. Hopefully they can survive by the end of this map.
Remains to be seen. The MB Star command comes out for what could potentially be the last time in this match. Good luck to all players involved, and let's see how this one turns out. 1 minute and 32 seconds of intense torture is the best way to describe a chart like this.
Thankfully, a very light start, but once you start layering in more and more sounds, the difficulty just ramps up so much.
Yeah, very grace note heavy, very flam heavy, demands extreme precision. I think the only saving grace is the fact that this isn't on an elevated OD, so OD8 very comfortable for a lot of the players, but it's very easy to find yourself spiking 200s if you're not too careful. And we see Galactic Calamity finding the first couple of drops here on the side of Galactix. Is going to give the lead very comfortably over to the side of the Gigglers to start this map off, and we're already into the back half.
And I will say that thankfully Legendia was taken and Mickey GG are pretty comfortable on this map, 99.6 and 5.8 for them a piece. However, it's just not enough when you see the accuracies on the other side. Maybe it can be subdued by a couple of misses for the Gigglers, but with a third of the map left, it's going to be hard to say, especially when Galactic Calamity takes yet another miss.
Yeah, and as you were saying, that Legendi and both Legendi and Mickey were finding a bit of a rough go into that last third and found their drops. A full team wipe on the side of Galactix Rise. Beta Carotene does trade it back, but it is too little too late. It looks like the Gigglers are going to be able to pull off the first sweep in this match. Going to be a clean 4-0 as we get everything synced right back up here. And as the map comes to an end, they pull Galactix Riotz over the edge and knock them out of Squid Game in the third round.
Congratulations to the Gigglers for advancing on into the next week. And unfortunately, Galactix Riotz is going to fall into the big pit of doom. But really, I think it does show how good even the lower seeds are. These three players and also me 0117 have put up such great scores. I think they would be deep runners in pretty much every other tournament, but when you're in the Squid Game, it's a different story.
Yeah, for sure. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know sometimes, and the Gigglers knew the right combination of players to make it through. So Beta Carotene, Cal, Dark, Ekisir, and Tristan Jacob are your first 4 of 24 players punching their way through into the fourth round at the expense of Galactix Riotz. Legendi was taken, Mickey GG, Galactic Calamity, and Me0117 have been officially eliminated.
Thank you guys for watching this stream and for watching the first match of the third game for Osu Mania Squid Game. We do have, again, 5 more matches left for this week. The next one is going to be in about 9-ish hours, and that's going to be, I believe, GS Astra's team going up against Lot's team.
Yeah, so definitely stay tuned. Get a bit of sleep if it is very late, or go about your day. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.
Bye.